Distinguished group members, it is my pleasure to present week 4 quick quiz this week to us. I'm going to talk about questions 11 to 13. Those questions borders around income statement. We'll start with the questions actually talk about financial statements, not income statement, which of course income statement is part of financial statement. So we will start with question 11, then moving to question 12, 13, and 14. Question 11 specifically is on income statement. So in answering such questions, we have to first look at the data presented. For instance, question 11 says, Garment Camry operates a consulting firm called Help Today, which began operations on December 1. On December 31st, the company's record shows the following selected account and amount for the month of December. We are given cash, accounts receivables, office supplies, office equipment, lands, accounts payable, common stock, dividends, consulting revenue, rent expenses, salaries, expenses, telephone expenses, and miscellaneous expenses. Our task in this question is actually to look at among these items, which of them are income statement related. When we look at it, find out that cash is an asset, account receivable is an asset, office supplies an asset, office equipment asset, lands asset, and these are not income statement items. We also have accounts payable, which is a liability, common stock, which is equity, dividend is also equity related. Now leaving us with consulting revenue, which is income statement related, rent expenses, salaries expense, telephone expense, and miscellaneous expense. These are all income statement items. So what we do now is to pick the only income here, which is consulting revenue, and now list the expense, which are rent expenses. Consulting revenue is 27,070 naira and $70. Sorry, $27,070. Then rent expenses $9,630. Salary expense $5,670. Telephone expense $950. Miscellaneous expense $570. And the total of the expense is $16,820. When we minus the total expenses from the total revenue, which was $27,070, we are left with a net income of $10,250. Now, we move to question 12. We are still using the same information that was presented to us in question 11. Just that this time around, we are required to present or to prepare statements of retained earnings or retained earning account as at December. Let's read the questions to really be sure. So Camry German Camry operates a consulting firm called Help Today, which began operation on December 1. On December 31st, the company's record shows the following selected accounts and amounts for the months of December. The same data is presented. So use the above information to prepare December statement of retained earnings for Help Today. So, to help us prepare statement of retained earnings, we should normally start with the opening retained earnings. In this case, it's 0, because as at December 1, there was no retained earnings. Then we add the net income as obtained in the income statement that we earlier prepared, which is $10,250. And now less dividend, which we were given as $6,070. And now left us with a retained earnings as at December 31st of $4,180. So at this point, we are done with question 12. We are now facing question 13. Question 13, we are still using the same data that was presented to us in question 11 and 12. But this time around, we are required to prepare balance sheets. So we look at the items presented to us and prepare balance sheets. Now, in the preparation of balance sheets, it's basically dividing into the information, the assets and liabilities and the equity items. And while we have the assets on the left-hand side, we have the liability and equity on the right-hand side. Then the first item we have there is cash, which is $25,420. We now add account receivable, $22,430. Office supplies, $5,330. Land equipment, office equipment, $20,080. Land, $44,070. Totaling, we now have a total asset of $117,330. We now look at the liability. The only liability stated in that information is accounts payable, which is $10,550. We have common stock, which is under equity, $102,600. We have retained earnings, $4,000. Retained earnings that we had as a balance in the statement of retained earnings, $4,180. So the total equity, that is common stock plus the retained earnings, is $106,780. Then we have total liabilities and equity. That is adding the total equity with the accounts payable. We have $117,330. But balancing, if we remember our accounting equation, that both sides must balance. Now, please note that for us, before we start preparing any of the financial statements, the very first thing that we need to do is to write the name of the organization, the name of the company or the business that we are preparing the statements for. And now then write the name of the statement. Is it an income statement? Is it a balance sheet? Is it a statement of retained earnings? And now we state the period that the financial statement relates to. It's after we might have done those, captured this initial information before we start picking the figures and making them the financial statements. I will post this in a discussion board, and I'll be available to answer questions that will come up in the course of this. Thank you very much.